So I drink till the night becomes another day, and the day's just another little thing in our way. There's something about the way you beat me down that I'll never learn. You're the pint of no return, the pain in my chest, the stain on your dress, the glass in my eye. But this life is a joke, and death is the punch. I know.
Mothers of Mayhem!
Well, beepity beep beep kids, you are probably wondering where the heck is Christina? Why is it just Marian that I'm seeing on my screen right now? Well, Christina will be here momentarily because we are full-time moms, myself also a full-time registered nurse, both raising full families full of children with children yet to come and children who are graduating and children who have very special needs and spouses who are medically disabled and all of that good regular life stuff. We just didn't have a chance to do a decent intro for the episode that you will be listening to today. I would also like to give a big shout out to Mercury retrograde, the recent full moon, and the solar eclipse that happened last night for making this all extra possible. Anyway, today you are going to be listening to an episode that we just recorded with Mr. John Wayne Comunale. And let me tell you, this was a whole hell of a lot of fun. And there is a very special musical surprise at the end of this ep. So get ready, sit back, relax, get ready to laugh your ass off. This was a blast. Have a great time. Here we go.
All over the place.
I'm a giver.
Well, John Wayne Comunale,
Yes.
welcome to Mothers of Mayhem.
There's always something with us.
So excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. I've been stoked.
Before we get started, I just want you to know that we always refer to you as JWC, but my primary language that I took in high school was French. So every time I say JWC in my brain, it comes out JWC. So every time I think my brain,
look at you, fancy.
We're going to talk to JWC. That's right.
Je m'appelle JWC.
Right?
Ça va?
JWC.
No, it's funny.
Unfortunately, the WC in France is the bathroom. So
Hell yeah, it is.
let's not. We'll just not regard that part.
It's funny. I took 3 years of French, and I can say Harry Coverts and Pomme de terre. I can say that.
Is that Spanish? Is that French?
Harry Covert is asparagus, right?
I thought Harry Covert was he sung in that One Direction band. Wasn't that him?
Close.
Yeah.
Green beans.
Oh, green beans. Harry Covert, he's got good style, man. Yeah, he's slick.
This is off the rails already, and I'm loving it.
He only has one good solo album. It's very Harry Nilsson-esque, but other than that,
you knew this was going to happen when you brought me on. We did.
And so we have no script for this. So this is perfect for us.
And yet we're still going to bring the incredibly thoughtful and insightful questions. And
you did the questions this
I'm going
time.
to hit you with one.
She's on it.
This is amazing because I don't usually do the questions. So I was pretty proud of myself.
Nice. Hit me.
So I'm very interested to start off just by talking about the Cadillac Man.
Yeah.
It actually, even though it's your most recent book, it was the first of your books that I read. And it is also, after going through and researching and looking at everything you've done, it's your longest. It taps out at 406 pages. Yeah. And the character of the titular Cadillac Man, he's essentially like a supernatural embodiment of the most insidious and quietly horrific traits found in actual human people who have sociopathic and narcissistic personality disorders. And to me, the most terrifying thing about this character is my knowledge as the reader there are real people in this world who engage in very similar evil manipulations of other humans, despite not having the Cadillac Man's supernatural talents. And I would love to know more about the inspiration, where he came from, and his creative evolution as you were building him and kind of taking him on this journey. Because he as a character fascinates me, and I want to know more about how he was kind of spawned in there.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much, first of all. So the Cadillac Man, I started referring to him as like an anti-guardian angel when I talk about this book to people, because that kind of best, 30,000 feet encapsulates him. He's definitely he's an anti-guard. He's there like a guardian angel would be, kind of, but he's got a different agenda.
Yeah.
And so this was like, I wrote this over the pandemic, but this wasn't like, I tell people like, yeah, I wrote this during the pandemic, but not because like the pandemic, like, and not too much of my, like, nothing was really changed because I was already I was already just writing full time, working from home. I didn't like lose an office or something like that. So I was already writing this, but then I think like as it went on and I was stuck at my house and I couldn't travel anymore and things got worse and worse, that started to influence the way the Cadillac Man kind of went.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because it didn't start off like that. It wasn't like, I'm so frustrated, this is what I'm writing during the pandemic. It was like, this is my work in progress, and now the world falls apart around me. So I don't know. And I'm just always been fascinated with people's just choices and what, the psychology behind why things happen based on, you keep pulling that string and you go back and back and back. And, the Cadillac Man is just almost like, there's like a dog fight going on outside. Welcome to Las Vegas, everybody.
Right? Lived there.
It's very interesting because the story moves forward. You can really see the correlations that occur because of cause and effect. Like, we make choices that have consequences, and sometimes those consequences lead to impacts on other people's lives and the trajectories of other people's lives, simply because they got involved at the wrong time in the wrong place, and it just kind of almost like the butterfly effect.
It's like I was trying to really create like a sense of dread with the Cadillac Man, because like everything kind of just gets cut off, like the based on these choices that these people make. And plus, like, I've been told, not only with this book, with other books that I've written, that like these characters are completely unlikable. Yeah, like I think that's kind of more real. Like, I write a lot of unlikable characters, I guess, in the sense of like, well, this is real and you really wouldn't like this person in real life, so I'm not going to try to make you like them. Just read the fucking story. No, not just, but like, but yeah, they're not supposed, these aren't likable people, and most people you meet aren't likable. You don't like them anyway. So that's like,
what I was gonna say.
And it doesn't like, I'm no spoilers, but it's not like this wraps up in a happy like little fucking thing, but that's also kind of like how life is. Like, it just keeps going and going, and doesn't necessarily have a happy ending or a bad ending or even an ending. Sometimes it's just like, oh, well, damn, this is life, I guess,
It's a never-ending tumbleweed. We just keep rolling forward and through shit and over shit, and absolutely, it's like a never-ending cycle. So when yeah. Well, that actually kind of leads me to this other question that I had. These two are a little bit connected, but a lot of your writing involves the blending of supernatural horror plus real world horror, true human flaws and evils that we all know actually exist in the world, exacerbated or made more powerful by a paranormal influence. Is this a conscious piece of your horror author like modus operandi, or is it a facet that you find to be more organically driven by your personal experiences and perceptions of the world around you and man's inhumanity to man, and just the fact that everybody's a bag of dicks?
Well, okay, so little column A, little column B. Like, I definitely, so the stories that always like have fascinated me and what I broke my brain on as a kid were like, you know, Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, the Amazing Stories. These were like, you know, had always this kind of touch of fascination of something going on. I really like being able to play in the kind of sandbox of magical realism when I'm doing stuff and kind of like taking that in and out. Well, now this is just how it is because these are the rules of this universe, like kind of like a Twilight Zone episode. Like you just have to accept that that's what's happening. And I'm fascinated with the occult and that kind of thing. And that shows through in a lot of my writing. But yeah, it is a conscious choice. I like to blend those things because that's just kind of like my shit, you know. And I was talking about this actually to Triana and Aaron Beauregard the other night because we were doing a podcast. Shouts out to those guys. Versus like writing versus like the true, like somebody like the man putting his hand through your window and pulling you out versus, you know, the man that is in your dream, or, you know, it is conjured somewhere or is haunting the shadows. Like there's different fears there. Like one's very real and another one is like, is that real? You know, it affects us different ways, I think, you know, and I like to just blend those things together. That's like kind of the thing I like to do and keep you guessing all the way.
Awesome. Christina, do you want to hit him with a question?
Sure. Hey, I haven't passed out yet, so this is a good Monday for me. Let me tell you. Like everybody knows.
From boredom or what?
No.
From fangirl syndrome.
It's from the fangirl syndrome. Not a lot of women have it.
Out.
But
shut up.
It's you know. So within the indie horror community, you're known as the jack of all trades. You do narration. I have all of the ones that you've narrated, every single one.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Every one of them. I almost have all the books too. I'm close. I'm coming in.
Did you listen to the new Max Booth one that I just did? The Maggot Screaming?
No. Is it up on Audible yet?
Pop up on Facebook. It's one credit. I have like 4 credits. And I used one of my credits 24 credits.
Nice. That one was a lot of fun to do. And that one's pretty long. It's like 10 and a half hours. And it's a lot.
That one just came out because I literally just checked last night.
Yeah.
I literally just checked last night. I'm making notes, so bear with me.
Cool. Do it.
But you're an artist. You're a podcaster. You have 2 podcasts. You have John Wayne Lied to You and Vital Issues with Christopher Triana.
Vital
Social Issue. Get it right, Christina. God, what a
no, you're fine. You're fine. It's a mouthful.
It is.
You're fired. I'm hiring John Comunale.
I'm done. I'm
free. Now he's got 3 podcasts.
Actually, I do have 3 podcasts.
Now he's got 4
on my Patreon.
Oh, that's right. We'll get to that Patreon.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Let's get to it.
Fucking sleep.
Damn
it.
I know, right?
Right.
You obviously have a deep love for all of these roles. Is there one that you enjoy more than the others?
No, because like it's like I am very busy, but I'm very driven, very disciplined, and I tell people that a lot. Like I'll be the only thing good at is being disciplined, because when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. But I also know what it takes to get where I've gotten and where I'm going. So I kind of know that it's not an instant gratification thing. I know the work that has to go into it, and I to make this whole machine keep going, I can't just at this moment just write. But you have to plug everything in that you do, the voices, the music, the art, like, and when it all comes together now, like as I've been doing this for a few years, the machine is starting to chug along at this kind of pace that's nice. But it's hard to say if I like any of those things better than the other, because it's really cool to me to be able to be like, okay, I'm writing. Man, I'm done writing. I'm going to pick up the guitar and work on this for a while. And oh man, I got to draw this thing for, the thing, just pull that out and start sketching and drawing. So I'm always engaged, and it keeps me from it holds me accountable, because I'm always like, I can have something I can be doing. I don't need to be sitting here. I know I make it look like I'm just like woohoo and shit all the time, like online, but I like all of those things, and I think I'm super like appreciative that I get to do all of those things. Like I've plugged in those tools to keep it going. So did I answer the question? I'm pretty high. I don't know.
It's actually
okay.
a
It's
really
okay.
good psychological
make it work.
safety net, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you have these various things that you love. It's provided structure with flexibility. So you can jump from all of these things that you feel passionate about without overextending yourself in one area and causing burnout. So as soon as your brain is like, I don't want to fucking write today, I can't write today, I don't know how to do this, you have 4 other things that you're good at, that you enjoy doing it, and you can just choose one and you jump to that for a couple of days. Like that's not a bad way to live life. I think if we all
taking notes, I'm taking notes.
It's a balance
because Christina and I are like this far from burnout right now.
It's bad. Like it is, and it is because
and I'm like, oh, we
I
need to be
don't
more
have,
like Jay Dubleday said.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I mean, it's hard because it's easier said than done to balance all those things out. Because I definitely have learned the hard way about like taking on too much stuff and being like, okay, I can't do this many things at once. But I'm used to like playing in 2 bands at once and doing this and that, and then I just had a period where I took on way too much, and I was like, this fucking sucks. I can't do all of this, So it's a live and learn type of thing. So I've learned to kind of balance that out and get to where it's like you hear people say this all the time. We're like, I don't have to take every gig that comes along now. And I'm always like, when I hear people say, I'm like, well, fuck you. But like, it's true. So now you can fuck me if you want. Like, you don't have to take everything that comes along,
Right.
It's important to like be able to know, like recognize, like I have to take a step back and breathe a minute, and everything is not going to crumble down around me. This is all my own shit that I have to deal with in my head.
But it will.
If I feel like you're talking directly to me right now. Like I feel like this is my life, and you're like, Christina, focus.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Christina,
I'm just saying,
get a grip, take a break.
It's hard, and burnout's different for everybody and how you deal with it. Some people like, I'm going to drive on through. I'm going to keep plugging away, because it's like, this is what I do. So I have to keep doing it now. And I'll cycle through the burnout. Other times, like it affects people. You can hate. I don't want to hate something that I love doing. Like, I don't want to be like, fucking, I hate podcasting because I have to fucking do it.
Sadly, that's where I'm at is not the podcasting, but like reading. Cause I mean, I've been doing anywhere from 30 to 50 books a month since July of last year.
Wow.
That's as long as I've been in this. Because I come from a literary fiction background. Like, give me Wuthering Heights, and then I find Simon McCarty, like such a difference for me, But it's true. Like you get going. I mean, I've been sick for the past 2 weeks, and I'm just like, I don't want to look at books right now because you feel that guilt. Like I feel
like I should be fucking why am I doing this?
I should be reviewing, and my friends depend on me, and it's like I gotta.
Dude,
well,
you're talking to somebody that's been in like therapy for 12 years talking about this stuff. So it's like
we're all. This is
one of the things. One of the things that works for me, like in having to like take a break from stuff, because I'm always like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, is all the traveling that I do, because I can't when I'm driving, like I know that I'm driving. I have to drive. I can't do this and that. And I'll take some time here and there to work on something, and I'll still promote and post as I'm going, but that helps me to break the time, like break things up a little bit, rather than just pounding my fucking head like I'm writing all goddamn day to day forever. It's just like, I can't today, I have to do this, and that helps me relieve a little bit of the like steam out of the pot, kind of like I don't have control over that right now. I have to go to this, and I get to go to this, and you're gonna have a great time there, man. It's just gonna be all, it's like all those things as in your head that you're like, it's not gonna fall apart because you take a little break away from it. You have to do what you have to do, or else like you said, you don't want to hate reading books, do you? Because then you'll be my enemy. You'll be my enemy.
Right. It will be sworn enemies.
You'll be like one of those people.
Stop writing so many fucking books.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. If everybody would just stop writing for like 1 month, maybe I
We'll all take a month. Let's all agree to take a collective month off.
Give all of us a breather.
It's a 30-day Netflix and chill. All right. Respect it. Respect the 30-day window. No, what were we talking about?
Well, even matter. You started talking about the traveling.
Yeah.
And that was a specific question of mine for you, because just based on my observations of all of these different people that I watch within the community, you spend an extraordinary amount of time traveling and on the road, far more than anybody else, Triana included. And you're just always moving from convention to convention, event to event. Have you always had a nomadic traveler spirit, or was this something you felt was a necessary means to your end?
Both. So like I played in bands for like 20 years, like 20 plus years. I've always just played in bands. And like, so that mindset, that approach translated to me really easily, like from that to like book, like to doing these tours that I do now. So like I did 32 weeks on the road last year, and like I have like 25 so far this year right now, things
year,
like that.
Dude.
I know, but like I love it. Like somebody said, like, you have to be built for this. It's not for everyone, for sure. But it's like you put it together, and I wouldn't, you figure it out as you go, you learn how to do it right. And it's just like, I wouldn't, I don't know. I couldn't go back to not doing it. I'd love to do it, at least for now, at least like all these years that I've been doing it so far. It hasn't gotten old yet. But I also know I do feel it is a means to the end. It's necessary. I often look at my career where I'm like, okay, what other artists do I gravitate towards? Do I not like? What artists do I love? What do they do? Like, why do I love them? And I kind of look at all that kind of stuff like that. And from a band, it's like you can be like the biggest fucking band in Houston or even Texas, but nobody's gonna, you're not gonna get bigger than that if you don't travel.
Right.
You can throw shit out on the internet and be like, hey, our song's on this and that, or my books are on Amazon and I'm on that, and that's great. But it only helps so much. As far as this is just me talking about me. That's all I can, speak from my experience. But I feel like that connection it goes a long, long way, because it does with me. I was that kid on the other side of the table. I've been the kid in the audience singing along. I know exactly what that is, and that's what I hope to create for people who like my stuff. And I know it's about that. You got to meet me, man. You got to talk to me. I tell people, I do all these conventions, we were at AuthorCon and Scares That Care, and those are very literary driven, of course, especially AuthorCon. But all these other ones I do, they're cinema driven. These are all movie driven horror shows, and no one comes there to buy a book until you meet me. And then you're buying everything. We're jumping around. We're doing shots. We're
not an easy sell either, because most cinemaphiles aren't readers.
Well, that's funny, because like what you were saying earlier about quitting reading, like there's people that will walk by the booth, and I've talked about this before, and like declare like, I don't read. Like they're very proud of that. I'm like, hey, I got books. I'm like, okay, keep walking. I shut down.
Dumb idiot.
Yeah, like I guess you're proud of being stupid, but. But I mean, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who are into reading there. They'll be like, oh, books, or even some people that I do like to read. I haven't read in a while, but what is this about? I like to talk to people, and I know that like I'm selling books, so I have to talk to you, or I could sit here and say nothing and let you just look and read the back if you want. And that's one approach, but not mine. So I'm going to talk to you and tell you about everything. And, at least you're going to leave with maybe a good experience. And you had, hey, that idiot over there was funny, at least. Books. What a dumbass.
Yeah, did you see his dog? His dog was adorable. He let me pet his dog. So I bought 5 books.
Yeah.
That's how you get him. That's how you get him.
Boney is the ultimate marketing machine. Let me just tell you.
Boney just right here.
I said to Christina, I was like, I felt so bad because I got to see John at AuthorCon, and I spent more time taking selfies with his dog and petting Boney than I did actually socializing with him.
That's okay. It's okay. The way it's going, like it's just gonna be a banner behind me that says Boney.
Boney
John Wayne with John Wayne, like, and I'll be like, I've got some books and records in a pile over here. No, we don't want to see that. And like they're all just, shaking Boney's hands, and he's like kissing babies and stuff.
Boney and his handler.
Yeah, but Boney and his agent.
Right, exactly.
John, how long were you living that on the road lifestyle before the pandemic hit? How many years were you at it before all of a sudden you got thrown into the prison of your own home?
So let me see. So I always I was doing it before with like bands and stuff, maybe for 4 or 5 years, like leading up to that steadily, but we all like also had day jobs. So we would be like away for like a week or a week and a half and come back, that kind of stuff. And that we did do a lot of regional tours because people had families and responsibilities, not me, of course, but everybody else. So I was kind of doing that, not to the extent that I would like to have done it. And then when I was able to make this transition and I was starting to see how to do it with my books, and I was like, oh, okay, this is okay, boom, boom, boom. And I'm putting it together, and I'm cutting back, my job, like part-time, quarter time, no time. And I'm like finally getting going, and it's great for like a whole year. And I have all these dates like booked for the next year, and then everything shut down. So it was like, it's just everybody I think experienced that. Like, oh, I was all ready to do this, and then this happened, and then this happened. For me, it was like, God damn it, because I love to be on the road so much, and after like a little while that wore on me bad. Like where
I can't imagine
anywhere.
Going from one extreme to the other. Because you
see, I'm the complete opposite.
And went to always home.
See, I've been built for the pandemic. I was like, I've been training my entire life. This was perfect.
This is everything I've ever dreamed of.
Like, oh my God, I can just stay home forever. Yes.
You're like, I got the call. They called me up. I'm ready.
My time has come.
And it was terrible timing because my husband was deployed. He got deployed in like May of 2020. And I have 2 special needs kids, but I was like, I'm ready. I am ready to stay home and away from people, man. I am good.
You're boarding up the windows already.
I was thinking about it. I was like, he's going to come back and I can't get into the house.
It's like Cloverfield over there.
I imagine you probably had a nice little social safety net, though, because while social media is the devil, there is also a benefit to it because you have friends all over the country and all over the world. Mm-hmm. And even though you weren't able to be seeing them physically and in person, at least you still had this entire global community of people you were able to connect with.
That did save. That was cool. Like I actually had a stand, like almost weekly. I did a Skype or Zoom call with Carrie and Andy from Grindhouse Press, so CV Hunt and Anderson Prenti.
Yeah.
And we would just talk for a few hours, like every week. And then with my Patreon podcast, the Awesome Dude for Life Boner Bonus podcast, I would just get the like, who wants to fucking do it? Anybody want to talk to me today for an hour? And I just line those up. And yeah, it was, it did come in handy. It'd help a lot just to be able to rely on that group of friends from all over to be like, yeah, I'll jump on. And plus, no one has anything to fucking do anyway. So drink up.
It's perfect. So have you had any experiences on the road and in your travel that have ended up in your stories or in any of your other art that you create?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Tell us one.
She was something juicy.
Okay, so let's see. I definitely tell all of my stories, but so this one involves Las Vegas, and I think I've written. So I have a collection that's out there called John Wayne Lied to You, like the same name as my podcast. That are stories I used to write. I wrote for 10 years for this show in Houston called Grown Up Story Time that still goes on today, where people take events that happen to you. It's a creative nonfiction thing that you write the story, and somebody else on the arts will perform the story, right? And it's always like, you won't believe it, man, like that type of thing. So I wrote for this forever. I have all these stories. This isn't a collection, but then I most recently weaved this into a current work right now that is going to come out, later down the line. But smash cut. Okay, I'm in Vegas here I live in downtown. So I come, this is like several years ago. I'm in Las Vegas for a buddy's wedding, and we're staying at the Golden Nugget on Fremont Street. And love to smoke my weed and all this. And this was before I was like, what? I don't give a shit. I'm flying with it. I know what I'm doing. So I was like, man, my whole, I was like, I got to figure out how to get weed, guys. And then we can go ahead and live, I guess. So,
pause on the living until
so we get there. Yeah, and I'm with the girl I was with at the time, and if you haven't walked down Fremont Street, it's just packed. This was pre-pandemic, and it's not the Strip. I don't like the Strip. But it's still just packed. People are just there's cattle all around, and you're walking up the street. I'm walking, and this guy was straight out of a New York movie or something, where he's just walking down the thing going weed, pills, coke, weed, pill, and he walks by me, and I'm like, whoa, 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 and he's like, so he comes up next to me, and he's like, what's up, man? And he starts walking. He's like, what you need? I was like, well, I need some weed for starters. All right, I got you weed. I got weed. And he's like, smell this. And he takes his hand out of his pocket and just puts it to my nose, and then puts it back in his pocket. And I was like, okay, that smells good. And I'm like, it's weed. He's like, all right, man, what else you want? What else you want? I'm like, well, at least give me an eighth. He's like, I got that, man. You got to get some of this coke. You got to get some of this white. And I'm like, all right, we're in Vegas. Sure. Throw some of that in. All right. Cool. So we're walking up and down. I'm like, all right, well, just give me everything. He's like, no, I can't do it. I can't give it to you here. I can't. I'm like, why? He's like, there's cops everywhere. I was like, well, how about we just go right there's a parking garage right there. No, man, we can't stop. So he walks me all the way down, and he walks me all the way back, and I'm like, dude, come on. I'm getting pissed. And he's like,
I feel like this is not a reputable businessman.
Okay, well, so fool me once. So we're walking, and he's like, all right. He gives me some of the weed. He's like, all right, give me the money. And I give him the money, and he's like, all right, hold on. We walk into the Golden Nugget, and he's like, I'm going to the bathroom. Don't follow me in. They're going to see you follow me. And I'm like, all right. I wait outside the bathroom, in the casino, and he comes out, and he just puts this thing in my hand, and is like, all right, later. And he leaves. So I have the weed, and then I just look, and it's this little white bindle plastic thing, and I put it in my pocket. I'm like, all right. I go upstairs. The girl I'm with is freaking out because I've been gone for an hour, and just walking around with this crazy drug dealer guy. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? And so I go up there, I'm like, don't worry, it's all going to work out. I look the weed, it looks decent. It's definitely less than an eighth, but it's whatever. I bought on the street, and I put this little bindle down that's it's plastic, tied up real tight. And I put it down on this table, and I start to untie the top. And I pull the plastic down, and the powder inside is not losing shape at all. It's just this ball.
Oh my God, no.
And I was like, what is this? And I go and I pull a little piece off of the white, and it just starts to unravel because it's just a balled up napkin.
Shut up!
In the bucket that they tied up and
that
put
motherfucker.
Yeah. I
did a drug dealer.
Lost my mind. I was like, all right. And she's like, and the girl, she's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm gonna go kick this guy's ass. So I was like, she's like, no. And I'm up and down Fremont Street, just walking, looking for this guy's hat, looking for what he looked. And I'm like, it took me about an hour before I just was like, all right, you got me. Oh, Vegas got me,
That's egg on my face.
because I was like, whoops, because I don't gamble. So I was like, well, that was my Vegas gambling, and so it all worked out, because then the next night I actually got a legitimate hookup and went to this bar that's since closed, and I bought weed and smoked a blunt with a porn star. So there you go.
Wow. So it all turned out well.
But anyway, I did write.
It all came together in the end.
It really did. You just had to get there. You had to work for it.
Yes.
I can't even imagine some of the stuff that you've experienced. The more you're on the road, the wilder the shit is that you just kind of stumble into. You just can't help it.
Yeah.
People are fucking crazy, man.
Oh yeah, we've had some cool adventures.
Oh, I bet. I bet. I've had some cool adventures, but most of them happened on inpatient psychiatric units, and I was the nurse who had to deal with it. So I feel like there's a lot more. There's a lot more fun. There's a much funner element to it when it's happening on the street.
It's more gritty. It's a grittier street. It's filmed in sepia.
Right? And Fremont is crazy because I lived in Las Vegas for 6 months, something like that, until I got knocked up.
What part of the town did you live in?
Henderson.
In Henderson. Okay, so yeah. We live like right on 10th Street, like in the arts district. Like we could walk to Fremont from here.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty close. But
because my husband worked at Palms Casino. So
I've never been to Vegas. I would love to.
It's really, Michael wants to go back. That's where he wants to retire to. And I'm like, okay.
You should tell me when you go, and then we'll all meet there.
Dude,
right?
You guys got to come out, man. We got to come out and party for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to eat food. Like, that's all.
Oh, my God. And the food is so good there. Like, the food is.
Yeah, we'll take you on a food tour, man.
Oh, my gosh. And I'm a fat kid, so I'm all about food.
Man, and like there's such good, like I don't even like food because I'm just like a food is fuel person, but like my girlfriend is vegan, and so I'm just like, whatever, I'll eat vegan stuff, doesn't fucking matter to me. But dude, like you scratch the surface a little bit of like food, there's like we had this badass pizza from this place like Yukon Pizza that was starting up in the Vegas test kitchen that's like just around the block from us, and he got a brick and mortar, but he made us like it's all fire roasted, like that he built, and he made us a special like vegan pizza the other night, and it was awesome. So yeah, you can find all kinds of crazy shit. Like if you like food, I got you, man.
Yes,
we liked the Irish pubs.
I like Scotch eggs.
That's oh man, that is a fat kid dream.
Oh my
it's
God,
got
I love
everything
egg.
you want.
Scotch eggs are good.
Oh my God.
Banger.
Great. Now I want one, and I'm in fucking Alaska. These dum-dums.
Hey,
we'll have to send them to you.
I'm not gonna ask you. I'm not gonna ask you what your real name is, but is John Wayne part of your actual real name, or was that a moniker you chose for yourself? And if it's a moniker you chose for yourself, why that?
So you can ask me. You can ask me what my real name is, because my first name is John Wayne. I was named after the actor. Yes, none of this is a put on. I'm not playing a character. This is not a pseudonym. That is my real first name. My last name is Comunale. It means community in Italian. But yeah, it's been my life struggle because I always have to correct people. Like, no, it's not John. It's John Wayne. And I have flashbacks to my mom just on the phone with every school I ever went to, and like, it's John Wayne. That's his first name. Just like, you know.
Oh my God, your mom sounds like a personality right there. She's like,
she's
God damn it, the boy's name is John Wayne.
I know, I was there.
She's so it's been I call it my life struggle, but I lean into it, you know. That's why everything is like John Wayne is dead. That's my band, and that's like kind of what I do all my art under, and it really is my name.
At least she didn't slap you with his actual real name, because then you and I would both have the same name. We would
Marian.
be Marian.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's funny because people come to my table. Well, first of all, we're reaching this point, a generational thing where people come to the table and they don't even have like a knowledge of who John Wayne the actor was. They think
that's wild.
It's John Wayne Gacy.
Oh my God. Oh well, horror people.
Yeah. I guess it's a horror thing, but also like they don't even know. Like they're like, John Wayne who? The actor, you know, and you're like, all right, get going. But then you get other people.
You just cry a little bit.
Move along.
Yeah. Other people who would just want to like, oh well, John Wayne, but you didn't know. I'm like, bitch, I know everything about John Wayne. You cannot. You know, people try to like just like, did you know this? Did you know that? Yeah, I know it all, dude. Are you gonna buy a book or what? So
if you're gonna harass me, buy something first.
Yes. What's your favorite John Wayne flick?
My favorite is Well, True Grit, even long before they did the remake, which I also love. But the Cowboys was one of my favorites when I was a kid because it had kids in it. You know, they were doing the whole cattle ride with John Wayne.
Yeah.
But I'm like, my dad would watch all that shit. So like the Shootist and all that stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I was doing some digging around online last night, looking for your stuff.
Found my nudes.
Yes, I did. Well done.
Thank you.
Nice
The
work.
keyword is tasteful.
Tasteful. Yes. But did you know that there's a signed hardcover edition of Death Fun and Teenage Scum on eBay that's currently going for over $150? Because that is impressive.
That's
and
pretty cool.
There are other well-established authors that I like, transgressive, subversive, that I was like, okay, so JWC's got one up here for $150. So I was like, who else has stuff on here for more? And the only people I could find were Brian Keene, Rath James White, Ed Lee, Richard Lehman, and Jeff Strand. But those dudes have been writing for decades.
Yeah.
Decades. Whereas you are relatively like a young buck in the game. How does it feel to know that within the fan community, on the fan level, outside of like the industry, the fans are already valuing pieces of your work that highly? How does that feel? Because you're like only not even a decade into this yet, right?
No, yeah, it feels awesome. It feels great. I'd be lying if I was like, oh, I am humbled by it because I love all those guys, you know, and a lot of them have helped me, you know, especially Brian Keene is like, you know, been an awesome supporter of mine and helped me out a lot. But yeah, it's one of those things, again, where we were talking about taking a break from things, where you just kind of have to allow yourself to sit back and be like, yeah, I worked hard to do that. Now let's go keep working hard again. Yeah. But you have to, and I do think it's awesome. I think it's very cool that when Death Scum and TV Fun came out, you know, that's a Thunderstorm release. And I was like, there's like 46 of them made. And I was just like, man, I hope I at least sell like, he sells like a couple of them on the first day, man. I was just kind of nervous when he released them and they were like gone in 2 hours. So
yeah,
I was like, wow, okay. So
when I found this, my first instinct was I was like, okay, well, let me search for the other contemporaries, his contemporaries. So I searched for Triana, I searched for Volpe, I searched for Beauregard, I searched for any of the others who are really like slamming stuff out now. Nobody else has books valued at what your books are valued
at
on eBay. Wow. Even Triana, that he was the first one because you guys are very close and you very much share a fan community. Yeah. And I was surprised. It could be that he just nobody's got stuff up right now for Triana, but
yeah, they probably already bought it.
Of the modern contemporaries, yours are the highest priced. And I was like, wow, that speaks volumes, because that is evidence of how the fans value.
Where'd she go? There she is.
Yeah.
And not how the industry values your art,
but
how the fans value your art. And I just found that to be very interesting, because from where your point is, and then it jumps to like Brian and Wrath, and people are selling shit for like $1,500 a piece.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But still, it's great. I was like,
yeah, I'm glad it's paying off. You know, it's like a lot of grinding, and you see the building, like you see, and I acknowledge all the time people that do come back and see me in the different cities, like now every time, and then, you know, it gets a little bit bigger, and it's not lines of people yet, but it's still like, hey, what's up? Oh shit, you know, that kind of thing. So it's good to see that. It's cool. It's very humbling and nice.
I bet it really validates all the hard work. Because that's what we all need, right? And to have that happen probably just feels so good. So
it does feel good. It does, but that doesn't mean that I'm not like, am I good? I'm good, right?
Yeah, no. We all love imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is great. The fans might think I'm great, but I personally think I'm shit.
I do try to break out of that, but because my attitude is like, why not me, bitch? Like, you know, what's the difference? Like, you're doing this, I could do it. Why not me? You know, that's also the way I look at it. So, and that's what I try to tell other people. It's like, why not you, dude? What? There's nothing really dividing you from anybody else. Just why not? You know, do your thing.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to take a very quick break here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to hit you with the rapid fire 4. First, we're going to give a little love out to our best friend Drew Stepik and Godless Horrors. Then I'm going to let Christina hit you with all of these questions because I feel like I talked too damn much. So we'll be right.
Just sitting here.
She's
I'm
just
talking
living
a lot too.
She's
no,
living
I'm sitting here.
I mean, you guys,
I'm
it's a
sitting here
fucking
not trying to be a
podcast.
dork.
The podcast doesn't work if there's no talking. So
Actually,
I
no.
think we're doing all right.
Hey kids, looking for a way to affordably access the best and wildest independent extreme horror currently in existence? Godless Horrors is the place to be. Go to www.godless.com to gain access to thousands of extreme horror and splatterpunk books from the genre's best and brightest independent authors. Godless Horrors offers every title in their catalog in a variety of formats to ensure compatibility with your favorite digital reading device. Strapped for cash? No worries. Godless has a fantastic collection of free titles ready for instant download, with other titles in their collection rarely exceeding $3 to $4. Again, go to www.godless.com or download the app and tell them what the fuck you're looking for. Come join the Godless tribe today. Forever delightfully deviant. Forever godless.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the whole point of us starting this podcast was so that we could fangirl over people and selfishly get a chance to talk to them on Zoom.
Well, so
I'm not doing this.
I
ain't doing this shit for anybody but me. So y'all can suck my non-existent lady dick.
Oh,
it's a vanity project.
I felt that was aggressive. Like, you're right in the camera.
Really like, I feel like
I got a long list of motherfuckers that can suck my dick.
Fire in your eyes there. It's crazy, man.
Like, don't look her in the eyes right now. Don't look her in the eyes right now. We know.
I'm a spicy cupcake. Let me tell you.
You are a spicy cupcake.
Is that an Amigo the Devil shirt?
Fuck yeah, that's Amigo the Devil shirt.
Doesn't he sings
Stronger
that's like everyone dies, like your people are dead, or he sings a lot of good songs.
Oh my god, I just got to see him in Mechanicsburg at a tiny venue, his last small venue show before he just hit the stadium tour with Vogel.
Oh sweet. Oh cool.
Amazing.
Is it awesome?
Oh my god, he's incredible. All right,
let's do it.
Christina, it is time. You must take JWC and you must run him through the gauntlet.
Yeah, the gauntlet, the 4 questions that we ask.
This is like Double Dare. I'm ready.
It is.
It really is. It really
challenge.
is.
We will expect you to climb inside of a giant booger-filled nose.
Oh, and find that flag. You know I will.
And if you don't, you got 60 seconds. Okay, so first one. Which of your characters do you identify with the most and why?
Jesus.
Starting it out strong. He's like, I don't want you to talk to her again.
Okay, interesting. Good. That's a great question. Man, and by man, I mean the royal editorial.
It's all right.
Man.
It's all right.
There's I'd be lying to say, most of my characters have a little bit of me in them, but the one I identify as probably, because it was just like at such a weird point in my life when I wrote it, is the protagonist in Scummer, who is unnamed, much like a couple of my other, like Death Packs, the guy's not named. That's like my little homage to Chuck Palahniuk. Yeah, so like that book is like it's weird, it's divisive, it's different than my other stuff. It's all dystopian, it's a descriptive narrative, it's very gross. But I describe it as finding yourself through a disgusting lens because life is disgusting. And it was like at a point where I was like trying to figure out like what the hell I was even doing. And it's something I go back to where I'm like, yeah, I remember that point in my life. I've been through this. I can do this, you know? So that I guess I identify most with, as far as just realness goes. But you know, in Death Packs, I want to make a deal with some kind of thing too. But yeah, but this guy, the kind scummer. Did I win?
You 1/4. You won 1/4. There's more.
Okay.
You've completed stage 1.
Yes.
Stage 1 is complete. Pass. Is there any other literary genre that you would like to try writing? And why is it romance? No, I'm just teasing.
I thought of like, you know, that's always something that you like kind of throw around. Like maybe I'll start writing some of those romance.
Some of those spicy books.
But like no, to like take a page from Triana, who we've talked about way too much on my episode. First of all, no.
Oh, Triana, like I don't even know.
I love you, Chris. Like I like crime to like the crime novels. I've been reading a lot of those, and like I did one of these westerns also for Death's Head that comes out I think the August, September.
Yeah.
And I'm like that was a thing where I was like, I'm not writing a western, okay? Because my name is John Wayne. I live in Texas. It's a hat on a hat. What the hell, you know? Come on, give me a fucking
on a hat.
So like
Nice.
so I passed like on that first round of them. I'm like, I'm not writing one. So they're like, okay, but then they came back and I was like, you know what? Let me give this a try. So I started reading, like Triana gave me a bunch of westerns to read, and I got really into that style. And I was like, okay, I can do this my way. And when you read it, of course, it is, you know, much like Kyle Chandler's was his, you know, way. Chandler Morrison shouts out, mine, you'll see is mine. This is a John Wayne Western, like, you know, thing. So I'm happy with, I'm very proud of that, because it was kind of like, okay, I'm stepping out into this, but I would like to get into crime, maybe write a crime thing. Like the new, my newest work in progress that's being edited right now is still like it's still got this element of this creepy magical realism, but it is like it's all told in second person. Like there is this drug war thing going on. Anyway, we'll talk about that later, but I kind of am trying to put my, like, you know, little bit of myself into some crime stuff too. So I guess that's kind of what I'd like to write more of, maybe.
So when you talk about crime, are you talking like horror, thriller, crime fiction, or are you talking about like fiction based on true cases? Or
oh no, like the first one, like just the gritty, like downtown
noir
underbelly. I don't even know if it's that
feel.
noir-y, because it's me still, so it's like crime Wayne-y, you know, John Wayne crime, but you'll see.
Officially a new
subgenre. Right? Do they fit into this genre or not?
Crime Wayne.
That's a triple subreddit, like dark web corner of the dark web no one wants to go to.
All right. Which is your favorite story that you have written?
That's really hard. You mean like as far as like my books or any story? So when people ask me that, at the table, I do go to Death Packs and Left Hand Paths, because it combines horror, humor, and the occult, like three kind of things I do. It was my first Grindhouse release, and it kind of like gave me some momentum, and I was like, oh yeah. So I have a lot of just connection to that book, but it's just also fun story, and I think it shows kind of like, okay, this is what John Wayne does. Now you can branch off from there. But one of the stories I'm pretty proud of that I wrote recently is in the Boinking Bizarro anthology. I don't know if either of you have read that.
I own it, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, this is this disgusting book and a disgusting story from me. The premise is like supposed to be like erotic, you know, takes on works of like, you know, literary fiction or something. So my thing was I was Shel Silverstein writing The Receiving Tree.
Oh
and
my god, I love Shel Silverstein so much.
Me too.
I need to go get this book.
Me too.
Shelby's,
I love it.
Shelby's A to Z is like one of the best books I've ever read.
This is, you will hate me after this. It's just very gross. But it was one of those things. So like Danger Slater and Brian Asman edited that, and they, put out, they put out the call, but they approached me and like, hey, we want you to write a story for this. And I was like, okay. And they're like, here's the things that you can pick, like whatever. And I was Shel Silverstein, and the story just came to me like that. I was like, the next day, I'm like 3 drafts later, I'm sending it to Danger. I'm like, here you go, man. Tell me the next move. And he's like, okay, was not expecting this to come back. I was like,
wow, that's efficient.
It was just one of those stories that was so ridiculous, and it just came to me that like, so I would say short story wise, check that one out.
Oh, well, that's moving to the top of my list right there.
Right? Just more on the TBR. And last but not least,
yes,
if you could co-author with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Co-authoring is hard.
So pick a dead person, because that's easier.
Right?
Because then I could just ghost write it all.
Yeah, there you go. See,
just pretend you
put that name on it.
Man, maybe I don't know, maybe like Kurt Vonnegut, if I for the experience, because he's like one of my all-time favorites. I'd probably just let him write all of my parts like out of the book, but the experience of working with someone like him, I think, would be invaluable and pretty cool, as long as we're dipping in a fantasy territory here.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh,
Marian, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Did you mute yourself? Finally, we can talk.
Oh, she's back. She's back.
Can you hear me now? God damn it. Stupid.
Never mind.
Cat ears, headphones.
We're actually.
I was over here mumbling to myself about how much I love Kurt Vonnegut.
We are actually
Cat's
reading.
Cradle is one of my all-time favorite books.
I own all but 2 of his on audiobooks.
So Slaughterhouse
I am
5
obsessed.
is one of my top 5 books. Just in my top 5. I love that book. Like really, it blew my brain away, inspired me in like weird ways with time, the whole thing. And I love that book. Read it a billion times. So I don't know. You mentioned the audiobooks. Do you have the audiobook that James Franco narrates?
Oh, I love James Franco.
Okay, so he's fine, but why I was like, oh, James Franco, he's an actor. This will be great. Why does he read it so deadpan? It's like, I chose to read this as deadpan as possible, and no one's going to change my mind. I'm James Franco,
Right?
Yeah. I have thoughts about James Franco, and a lot of them are like within that same vibe. And I'm like, I want to respect you, but also I don't respect you.
I love James.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to it, but I own the paperback copy of that too.
Yeah, it's that's one of my favorites. So yeah, I would work with all him.
There are a lot of books that I keep up further where my short people can't reach them.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do too.
Actually, in a very slick mom move, I have mixed Vonnegut books in with like my daughter's YA books, in the hopes that she'll just start picking them up and reading them, so that she'll just start exposing herself to it. Because I feel like you're never too young to start getting this perspective about the world and what it really is. And he's not vulgar or disgusting or like you. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you've got the right intellect for it, you're gonna pick it up and be like, oh shit, man, yeah,
I get it.
I get it. And that's the kind of kid I want to raise. So my daughter's got all kinds of Kurt Vonnegut books mixed in with her Roald Dahl and her Harry Potter.
Another thing I love about Kurt Vonnegut is how he weaves the universes in. Like, you talk about Kilgore Trout in like almost every book. You're getting all this kind of rollover from his different universes, and I always love that when I find an author that like Anderson Prunty does that, and very like little small ways, and I'm always like, hey, dude, I know. I remember. I know what you're doing here. I like that.
I do that a lot.
It's just like a little nod. It's a little wink. It's cool. You don't have to like explain it or anything like that. And he does that a lot. And that's one of the first, I guess, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, cool. So
Morrison does that a lot too. He's got
Morrison and Harding.
That they both.
Harding is really big into it. Which, for someone like me, I nerd out. Like, I mean, for fart's sake, I tab, I mean, that's my element is when I can find all those little Easter eggs.
Yeah, I love it. I love that kind of stuff.
Well, it just takes it to a next level, right?
It does.
Because they're little tiny. I feel like when an author puts that level of detail into something, it's a little gift to themselves, but also a gift to the people who they know are really paying attention and who are really processing and becoming involved in the world that they're building. And it's just such a beautiful little gift to be able to read a book and be like,
you thought you were being crafty, but you're not.
You look up, you're like,
Sniker! And then
nobody's there.
Exactly.
We tried to call Chandler Morrison on that. He was like, no. You guys are just crazy.
Deny.
Exactly.
Wiley Chandler.
Damn it. Well, you've been amazing and so much fun to hang out with. Thank you so much.
Right. Okay. Can I play a song for you guys before we?
Cool? Yes, please.
Okay, because I have this record that I'm doing that's all acoustic songs. It's going to be like a special limited release, so I'm getting like pre-production and stuff ready right now.
And I also want to shout out your Patreon because
shout it out, girl.
It's amazing because I think I do like the $25 a month, and you're welcome. When you first sign up, you get like a little pack of stuff. And I was like, oh, you get a little book, that's really great. But like it came in this box full of stuff. Like I have John Wayne stuff all around my house. My husband's like, who is this? And I'm like, you're not fucking cool enough to know, pal. Sorry about you. Go read Michael Moorcock and leave me alone. Like, mind your business, Michael.
Don't worry about it.
God, you're so
worry
uncool.
about yourself.
But yes, definitely check out the Patreon. Like, you get a book, and I got like pictures, and I got where's it at? I got this. Like, I got all kinds of stuff. So
I like to try to take care of people. Because I do appreciate it's tons. Like I always shout out my Patreon on John May Lie to You. It's a huge. It's not just. It means a lot. It just means a lot. Like even like no matter what, like $5, $1, it's all like thank you. Like it means a lot. And then I try to put cool ass shit on my Patreon wall, like because everyone gets access to the wall no matter what tier you join. So I've been putting up like videos of me doing karaoke at the convention lately.
That's
like
awesome.
Because I kill karaoke. If you were at like AuthorCon, were you at the reading? I can't remember.
Yes, I was.
Okay, so like
I was at various readings.
So all those songs I played, those are up there. The videos, the stories I told are on the podcast. Like I put all that stuff. So there's a lot of extra stuff. I try to take care of everyone that helps me out there. So I just
Death Packs is completely free on his Patreon. The entire audiobook.
It is, and that's even that's like a different Easter egg, I guess, because that's not even the one that's on Audible. That's like a whole other one I did. Yeah.
Oh, see, clever. Now I've got to go get the goddamn one off. Oh, crap.
Well, it was when I was learning kind of how to do that. ACX has so many rules. There's so many different like technical things that I was like, oh, I'm stupid. I should have read all this shit first before I did the whole book. So I had to like just scrap it and like when I got my setup right, then I did it. But I was like, well, I'm gonna put this one up, But so it's like it's cool. That's a cool little thing, But
what are you gonna
but anyway, I'd love to play a song. This is one of my songs that'll be on the record. This is called Death Wish. you get up the nerve to cut me to the bone? And I've been digging a hole that's been my grave all along, and I won't stop till I am gone. What makes you think makes me happy? What makes you think this is fine? What makes you think you're always right every day and every night when all you think is wrong? Don't act like you're impressed. I've seen you throw yourself at last, and I've got high tolerance and a death wish intent. So just say you knew me well. What makes you think makes me happy? What makes you think this is fine? What makes you think you're always right every day and every night when all you get is wrong? Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, oh, oh. At least you're left with this story of unattainable bliss. When my name stays on your lips, or memories of me make you sick, but you know they won't last long. What makes you think makes me happy? What makes you think this is fine? What makes you think you're always right every day and every night when all you've been is wrong? When all you've been is wrong. When all you've been is.
Yeah!
Yay! What did you think?
Yeah, Sarah, he did good.
She said he did good.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Christina, is your soul still inside your corporal?
No.
Being? Or have you transcended?
Wicked.
You liked it?
Oh my God. It was
Thank
pretty
you.
great.
Thank you.
Wicked.
Heck yeah.
She's gonna go to school and tell kids that she listened to music this
Awesome.
morning. I know it.
That's awesome. So for more
Yeah,
information
five
on
big
John
right
Wayne
there.
Comunale, please visit his website, johnwayneisdead.com. Where else do you want them to come to find you?
That is the one-stop shop for everything. If you can get to that website, everything is right there. You can get to my new apparel line that's out, my apparel shop. You can get to the podcast I do with Christopher Triana is right there. My other podcast. You can go to my shop there. You can see all my dates. And you can follow me at John Wayne is Dead on everything. But again, if you go to my website, it's all right there. One stop, easy shop.
Yeah.
JohnWayne'sDead.com.
Triana made the unfortunate statement to me at AuthorCon that he would consider coming to do this show for season 2. So you can tell him now it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
And that we're the worst.
They're pretty tragic.
I'm actually just gonna do them. I'm just gonna say, follow that asshole.
Yeah, I can't do better than
Mic
this,
drop.
bitch.
Boom.
So you also should definitely come join all three of us. I think Shay Dublevay is in the Mothers of Mayhem official Facebook group, but that is where you really want to be if you want to keep up with us and what's going on. You can find links to our merch store because we have the merchandise as well. And we have Ultimate Fan Community Reading Soundtrack playlists. You're on Spotify, right? Because I need to start adding your stuff to our playlist.
Yep.
And you have all your music on YouTube, right? So I can start adding stuff in there too.
Yeah, well, music. We're on every streaming service, so Spotify, our Bandcamp, all that stuff.
Good. So you'll find a lot of his music in those playlists as well. We also provide exclusive info, content, and we often have a lot of giveaway opportunities, plus so much more. The finale of season 1 of Mothers of Mayhem is fast approaching. We will be on hiatus until at least early to mid-September. The second season is going to look a little different because mid-season I'm going to be popping out another kid, so we might have to take a break. Ew. And if you want to stay with us and stay in close contact with your weird book mommies, Facebook group is the place to be, my children. You can find various links to all of our social media accounts in the show bio. And as always, you can send questions, comments, or insults to our email, momextremepodcast@gmail.com. It's m.o.m.extremepodcast. Do not forget to send dildos to Christina. DM me if you need her mailing address. Do not send me any more pictures of fucking Zach anthropomorphic Shart Baggins. I swear to God, I will find all of you motherfuckers and I will end you. I hate him so much.
Zach Baggins is the best Baggins.
You're full of shit. As always.
That I am.
A huge thank you to Amigo the Devil for allowing us to use the song Hungover in Jonestown as our theme. Go listen. You listen to John Wayne Comunale, you listen to Amigo the Devil. Give these guys your well-deserved love. And until next time, we would like you to go raise some fucking hell, children.
Make your weird book mommies proud.
All right, we love you.
I love you.
Thanks,
back.
John Wayne. You're great. I can't wait to have you back again. That was fucking fun.
Thanks. Yeah, that was awesome.
Life is a joke, and death is the punchline. Oh, la, 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 la.